Hello everyone and welcome to Chuli Tech classes. Today we will learn about the second stage of AI project cycle, means data acquisition. In this we will study about what is data acquisition. We will learn about data, its classification, its features and about various data sources. So without any delay, let's start the topic. If you find this video helpful, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Your support will help this channel running. See, the word data acquisition is derived from two words, data and acquisition. Data means raw facts, figures or any piece of information like the salaries of employees of an organization. And the word acquisition means the process of collecting the data. So when we acquire data for training our AI model from various reliable sources, then this is called data acquisition. Sometimes the two terms data and information are used interchangeably. But actually data is just raw facts and figures. Like if I collect marks of students of a class, then it's data. But after processing the data, I get information. For example, if I calculate average marks or maximum or minimum marks, then it becomes information, right? So if we define data, it is a raw piece of information or facts and statistics that is collected together for any reference or for any analysis. It can be about any entity like school, students, sports, business, animals, or about anything. Its example can be like students' test score, or if someone posts something on Facebook, then the data about likes, dislikes, sharings, and comments, right? Data can be of any type. Like it can be numeric data, words, pictures, audio clips, videos, maps, measures, observations, or even just descriptions of things. And when we collect this data in an organized tabular pattern, it becomes a data set. Now, data set can be of two types, training data set and testing data set. You know, out of total data that we acquire in this stage, about 70 to 80% of data is used for training purpose, means the training data set, and rest 20 to 30% of data is used to test the AI model, means the testing data set. Here we have an example of a data set. See how a data set is actually represented in tabular format. Now comes data classification. There can be three types of data classifications: basic, structured and some other types. The first one is basic classification. In this classification, data can be textual data or numeric data, and the numeric data can further be classified as discrete or continuous data. See, textual data means the data in text format, like student's name, their address, father's name, mother's name. We don't perform any arithmetic operation on this type of data. But on the other hand, numeric data is used for computation purpose. Numeric data can be discrete or it can be continuous. Discrete data stores the whole numbers or integers. We can't further break them into fractions or smaller parts. Like if I ask you about how many students are there in your class, then you will answer me as 30 or 40 students. You will never reply as 30 and a half students, right? On the other hand, continuous data can be broken down in fractions. We can store real numbers in it. Like if I ask you about what is the height of students of your class, then someone's height is 5.2 feet, someone's is 5.4 feet, maybe someone can be 5.8 feet. Now you may answer me like the height ranges between 5 feet to 6 feet. Means we can represent continuous data in some range, and also we can divide it into fractions. Now comes the second type of data classification, means structural classification of data. In this, we observe the pattern of the data. It can be further classified as structured, unstructured, or semi-structured data. The first type of structural classification of data is structured data. This type of data follows some rule or some specific pattern. Data here is organized in a predefined manner. These data can be stored in tabular form, means in rows and columns. Examples can be like the cricket scoreboard or the school timetable, train schedules, or the mark sheets of students of a particular class. And this can be stored in any relational database management system like Oracle or SQL Server. Second type of structural data classification is unstructured data, means data that does not have any predefined structure. Data here does not follow any specific pattern or rule. Mostly the data that exists in the world is unstructured data, like YouTube videos, Facebook photos, videos, audios, presentations, emails, documents. This type of data can be stored as Word documents, PDF files, text files, or media logs. The third type of structural data classification is semi-structured data. This type of data has the qualities of both structured as well as unstructured data. Some of the data can be structured like the database, whereas some of the data can be unstructured like PDF files or videos. This type of data can be stored as XML data files. After basic and structural classification of data, data can be classified in some other categories also, like timestamp data, machine data, spatiotemporal data, open data, real-time data, and big data. Timestamp data follows a specific time order to define the sequence. The time order can be according to the happening of some event. That is when the data was collected or processed. Systems or programs mechanically generate some data. This is called machine data. Some examples can be like a list of phone calls, the logging details on a computer, or the data on emails. Next comes spatiotemporal data. This type of data has both location and time information. That is the time when an event was captured or collected along with the location where the event was captured or collection took place. Its examples can be data of the history of the cities and lands, weather patterns, predicting earthquakes and hurricanes, and determining global warming trends. Then comes the open data. Data which is freely available for everyone to use. Open data is not restricted to copyright, patent, controls, etc. Just like the data available in many government sites, it is open for everyone. Real-time data is available as soon as the event takes place, like a person's heart beats, right? Now comes a very important type of data, the big data. Data that does not fit into the standard relational database management system such as Oracle, SQL Server, or MS Access. The amount of data is so large that any traditional database system is not able to manage it. The main features of big data can be like it is continuously created by humans and machines. You must have noticed that YouTube videos are continuously created by humans non-stop, right? Second feature is that it includes structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Then it is collected from various sources and its size can vary from a few terabytes to zettabytes. There are three parameters of big data: volume, velocity, and variety. These are called the 3 V's of big data. Volume means the volume of big data is very high. It can range from terabytes to petabytes. For example, Twitter data feed or data from sensor-enabled equipments. Velocity means the speed at which the data is received. See how the internet-enabled devices receive large volumes of real-time data. And big data can be made up of a variety of data. like structured, unstructured, or semi-structured, any type of data. Now, after understanding various types of data classifications, now arises a very important question: what are data features? Means what type of data we want to collect. These can be the variables or the attributes used to store the data, or these can be the columns of the CSV files or the Excel sheets. Like if we want to collect students' personal details, then his name, class, phone number, address, these can be the data features. After knowing so much about data, the question arises from where we can collect data. So the sources of data can be surveys, web scrapings, sensors, cameras, observations, or APIs. Now let's discuss them one by one. Surveys means collecting specific information from a group of people. Like the census survey is conducted to analyze the population of a particular area. Then cameras capture the visual images. For example, data of the weather captured from the satellite cameras. The sensors collect signals and turn them into data. These are mostly used in IoT, means Internet of Things. Examples of sensors can be temperature sensor, pressure sensor, optical sensors, or many other types of sensors. Web scraping means collecting data from internet using some technologies. Like we can collect data about share market prices or about any news from different internet-based applications. Data can be gathered by observations also, by watching the behavior of a person at a particular event or by noting the physical characteristics. APIs can also be used to collect data. API stands for Application Programming Interface. An API is a way for two or more computer programs to communicate with each other, just like any messenger do. After collecting data from various sources, a major concern is about the authenticity of the data. After all, data is the new age gold, right? See, we are collecting data to train our AI model. And if the model is trained with unauthentic or fake data, then obviously we will create a wrong AI model. Due to this, it is very important to find a reliable source of data from where some authentic information can be taken. At the same time, we should keep in mind that the data which we collect is open source and not someone's private property. Extracting private data can be an offense. We can take data from open sourced websites which are hosted by government. Some of the open source government portals are data.gov.in or india.gov.in. So this was all about data acquisition. I hope this video was also very useful to you. In our next video, we will learn about the third stage of AI project cycle, means data exploration. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.